desert. For a season, I lived in a place called San Miguel, California, where during the day, Ms. Jeanette, during the day it was 120 degrees in the desert. It was down near the desert was down near San Miguel. I'm trying to think of the name of the place where we were at. Huh? Oh, okay. And man, it was hot there. The humidity was just absolutely intense. And I want to read this for you. If you'll get this on the board for me, Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, verses 1 through 8, and I'm going to be real brief today and get us out of here. But verse 3 says, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under the sun." I don't want to say that again. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under the sun. Look at somebody right now and say, enjoy what you're doing, where you're doing it, and make the most of every experience. There was a guy by the name of P.E.Owens, and I like Ian because he says some interesting things. He says this: everything in our lives has a season, an appropriate time, not in some random way, but in a manner that is charged with purpose. Ian Provan believed that no matter what was happening to you, no matter what you were experiencing in your life, it had a purpose. He also went on to say that human experience is a tapestry. A tapestry is nothing more than this elaborate. Everybody know what a tapestry is? You generally hang tapestries on walls. They look like rugs, and they're not necessarily rugs. But he says that human experience as a tapestry woven of times is a way to recognize life. Spring is the time of beginnings and exciting opportunities and anticipation for the future. Spring is a time when seeds are planted. It's a time when seeds take root and they mature. Summer's labor producing a harvest in the fall and reaping of our efforts. And then everything seems to draw down to a close. Now, the time of the year that we're in right now is summer's over, right? Is summer over? It is. Well, summer is over, and now what we call is fall has begun. And while it may not have happened in your neighborhood yet, but some of the leaves are going to be changing soon as the sap inside of the tree begins to go down into the root or into the base of the trunk, because it's that time of the year. Normally we think of childhood and youth as springtime, while summer represents the emerging prime of our life. And then the autumn or fall starts somewhere beyond middle age. And how many folk in here are middle aged? So everybody don't want to be recognized as being middle aged. Yeah, I'm middle aged right now. Say middle aged. And one of the things that I want you to know is that look at somebody right now next to you. Say, I know you think you're going to hold on to that shape. But guess what?
Guess what?
You're getting ready to get old. And as you get ready to get older and as you get ready to mature, you have to recognize the fact that seasons are changing. I would not expect Mark to come in here in a pair of high water pants, right? I wouldn't expect that. I wouldn't expect Kim to run up in here in a mini skirt, right, Kim? No. We've known that it's not going to happen. One of the things that I want you to understand, beloved, is that growing old is mandatory. Growing old is mandatory. Now, one of the things that I want you to understand about growing old is if you live long enough, you're going to grow old. Now, is there anybody here that doesn't want to grow old? Just raise your hand. Is there anybody here right now that if you could stay the age that you are right now forever, just raise your hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Anybody want to just stay the age that you are right now? sounds good, doesn't it? One of the things that I want you to understand is that you're going to continue to progressively get old. Summer, I want to talk about summer for a moment. Summer is a time of growth and maturation. The seeds are planted during the summer. They mature into full-size plants. Summer is a season of work, when we invest our time and our effort required to become good at what we do. Summer can sometimes be hot, humid, sometimes it can be dry, and most of the time when it's hot, you ever notice that whenever it's hot, people look for shade? You ever notice that in the winter they can't wait until it gets hot, and when it's hot they can't wait until it gets cold? But you need to know what season you're in. Isaiah 42:9 says this: "Behold, the former things have come to pass, a new thing I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." Isaiah 43:19 says that, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." You can stop right there for a moment. Now listen to this. The problem with our seasons is that some people want to jump straight from the idealistic stage of spring to the harvest time. In other words, there are some people in our lives, and some people in your life, some people in our times, they don't want to go through the process of recognizing that seasons have to happen in a natural progression of things. There are seasons of experiences in our lives. The seasons of our lives generally follow this order: springtime, summertime, fall, and then winter. It is important for us to know as believers in three areas or three dimensions of our lives. In the area of the physical realm, you need to know that, guess what? You're not a spring chicken anymore. You need to know that you're not in your springtime. You're not a teenager anymore, some of us. You need to know that some of us who are at the age that I'm age and stage that I'm in, you ever notice that women really don't want you to ask them how old they are? For whatever reason, women, they don't like you to talk about how old they are. And generally, most women, let me be careful, let me talk to Brother Styles. Most women, after a while, they use something called dye to hide the gray. Oh, let me be careful. Some people want to jump from meaning this. They might start out in the spring, they might be in the summer, and then once they get to fall, what they want to do is they really want to go back to their springtime. One of the things that I want you to understand about the times that we're living in is that you have to always know what season that you're in. And the reason that it's important to recognize the season that you're in is you can't possibly expect God to be moving. So look at somebody and say this: God has a season, and it's called springtime and harvest. There are certain things in your life that God started doing in the springtime. And there are certain things that God plants in your life as we plant things. And we can expect that if God has planted something in our lives, that it will follow a natural progression in order to develop in your life. Too many people are living their lives expecting their life to be filled with summertime. Summertime is a time of growing. Summertime is a time of excitement. Summertime is a time of heat. It's hot, it's humid, it's action, it's active. But as sure as you and I are sitting here and standing here and resting in this place, you have to understand that God is going to allow the seasons to change in your life. And guess what? I know you don't want to leave where you are, but sometimes you do have to leave because the season changes. It's not a good thing for believers to want to just live, meaning this. It's not a good thing for believers to believe that God is always going to have you on a high and never you're going to go down into the valley. You have to understand is that as seasons are coming and flowing